top 10 scariest MMA fighters of all time. The world of mixed martial arts can be a brutal place. And throughout the years, we have seen some of the scariest people in both the cage and the ring.
Boom, he threw everything into that right hand. Oh my God.
Whether it's UFC, Pride, or Bellator, or one of the other numerous organizations, MMA has a habit of attracting a wide variety of frightening people. Whether it's due to unstoppable power, relentless attack, a fear-inducing stare, a criminal history, or a combination of all of these, are the top 10 scariest MMA fighters of all time. 10. Yoel Romero. The Cuban light heavyweight, aka the Soldier of God, has finished 11 of his 13 professional MMA wins with some of the most brutal knockouts seen in the sport. With a style that is as effective standing as it is on the ground, he has been a problem for all his opponents. Romero is at his scary best when he smells blood in the water, and when the former Olympian senses an advantage, he is absolutely relentless, stalking and chasing his opponent, swarming them and finishing them before they have a chance to recover.
I love you! See you soon, boy! I love you, Mike!
9. Jon Jones. Jon Bones Jones.
Oh, Bones Jones. Oh, this little chicken leg.
The current light heavyweight UFC champion holds a fight record of 28 fights with 26 wins. He has proven time and again the ability to stop the best in the sport. Jones is a scary proposition for any opponent with a height and reach advantage over most. The 6'4" giant has the movement and cardio of a smaller man, allowing him to go deep into the championship rounds and still be dangerous. He is wildly unpredictable with spinning elbows and kicks, having surprised many an experienced fighter. Jones' life outside the ring has also been of concern, with numerous gun charges to his name.
I'm so upset right now.
Why don't you just hand me your driver's license, registration and insurance?
Here, absolutely.
Go ahead and get the registration and insurance out of there for me, Jonathan.
I'm giving you 2 handcuffs, okay?
8. Vyacheslav Datsik. The Russian fighter was known for his unorthodox style, his frightening spinning attacks, and a lack of concern about his own or his opponent's safety, including being DQ'd in one of his early fights for eye gouging. Datsik's behavior outside the ring is equally, if not scarier, with violent crimes, imprisonments, and prison escapes throughout his history. The self-proclaimed racist has expressed truly concerning race views and has been reported to have been found with Nazi propaganda and paraphernalia on several occasions. 7. Lee Murray. Lee Murray is a scary individual both in and outside the ring, with a life that mirrors a Hollywood movie script. With lightning speed, devastating hands, and strong jiu-jitsu ground game, Lee held a professional fight record of 12 fights with 8 wins. It was Lee's actions outside the ring that held UFC President Dana White to call him a scary son of a bitch. 2010, Murray was convicted of an involvement in the Securitas Depot robbery, where he and his associates stole more than $92 million in cash at gunpoint. After failed escape attempts, he is currently serving 25 years in a Moroccan prison. 6. Mirko Cro Cop. The Croatian heavyweight Mirko Cro Cop is considered one of the best fighters of all time.
Every fight is exciting for me. It was never a job for me. That's my passion.
With a black belt in Taekwondo and almost 150 professional fights between boxing, kickboxing, and MMA, Cro Cop was always a dangerous opponent, particularly while the fight was standing, with a devastating left high kick that could end a bout in an instant.
One kick knockout over and over again.
Once described as right leg hospital, left leg cemetery, to add to his professional fighting pedigree, he was also a member of Croatia's elite police special forces tactical unit. As we reach the midpoint of this list, we have to include an additional honorable mention. This is Martyn Ford. Former cricket player turned actor and bodybuilder, has been labeled the scariest man on the planet. Rumors of his entry into professional MMA has circulated for years and have been delayed through injury. However, he is set to fight Sehad Garibi, the Iranian Hulk, in 2020-21. We will have to wait for his first professional fight for him to take his place on the list. However, we can all agree, Ford is one scary man. 5. Fedor Emelianenko. The Russian fighter and former Pride champion holds a professional MMA fight record of 46 fights with 39 wins. His 2005 Pride title fight against Cro Cop showed what he was willing to do not only to his opponents, but to himself to get a win. Having had his nose broken early in the fight, he endured to score the unanimous decision in what proved to be one of the fights of the decade. Also an accomplished judo and sambo fighter, Fedor manhandled and dominated his opponents regularly, using a powerful ground and pound to end fights, ensuring he will be remembered as one of the best and scariest of all time. 4. Kimbo Slice. Kevin Ferguson. Former strip club bouncer, unsanctioned illegal street fighter, boxer, wrestler, to one of the scariest people to ever set foot inside a cage, Kevin Ferguson, aka Kimbo Slice, sent fear through the heavyweight divisions of the MMA world when he decided to turn professional MMA fighter. Less technical than many of his opponents, Kimbo was a baller with raw power and anger in his movement and actions inside the cage. Kimbo had 8 professional MMA fights with 5 wins. He died in 2016 at only 42.
Fight for a lot of reasons, man. I fight for my family. I was able to put my kids through college.
3. Brock Lesnar. The former professional footballer has moved between professional wrestling and the UFC throughout his professional fighting career, and it's his exploits within the MMA ring that are by far the most impressive. At 6'3" and 285 pounds, Lesnar is a giant. However, his impressive cardio and explosive speed sees him moving like a much smaller man. Lesnar became the UFC heavyweight champion in 2008, overpowering the more experienced fighter with a terrifying barrage of hammer fists.
I pulled that sumbitch out and I beat him over the head with it! Woo!
2. Alistair Overeem. With 65 professional MMA fights and 46 wins, Overeem is a decorated fighter with a brutal stand-up style that has stopped many fighters, including other top 10 fighter Brock Lesnar. It was in 2012 that Overeem, with the assistance of unnaturally high levels of testosterone, that Overeem transformed his body, leaving him with the unwanted nickname Ubereem. Although he denied deliberate cheating, he was banned for many months. Still fighting, his huge size and well-rounded style will continue to be a problem for many fighters to come.
Yeah, there you go.
1. Wanderley Silva. Silva has earned his nicknames the Axe Murderer and Cachorro Loco, Mad Dog, with some of the scariest fights in Pride in UFC history. The American-Brazilian fighter started as a street fighter and trained in kickboxing, Muay Thai, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Silva holds the records for the most wins, knockouts, title defenses, and winning streak in Pride history. With a pre-fight ritual and a stare that can strike fear into the hearts of the hardest opponent, he is responsible for some of the most brutal finishes ever seen in the sport. There you have it. With devastating power and the ability to stop anyone on their day, it's the top 10 scariest MMA fighters of all time. Whether they are scary inside or outside of the ring, or both, these fighters have terrified their opponents throughout the years. Who is your number 1? Have we left anyone out? Comment below.
Here with the real champ, the one, the only. Fuck you, DC. Come and get his belt back. You gonna put your bitch ass on the mat, bro.